Okay, well, Australia have done it again, Pezza. Australia's done it again, once again revealing very little information about how they're going to play in this World Cup, keeping the cards very close to the chest. And although India have absolutely fucking demolished Australia in these two games, I say advantage Australia.
Advantage Australia,
Fair.
Indeed, he goes, in this last goal win series. Yeah. It's going to be so good come Chennai time. When Australia finally gets that last goal after having absolutely suffered some tremendous carnage at the hands of Indian batsmen.
Yeah.
Last night, who was it last night? We got Shubman in the runs last night.
Yeah.
We got Shreyas in the runs last night. We've now got Sky in the runs.
Yeah.
We're actually putting India into a situation where they are going to have some real selection headaches because everybody is performing.
Well played, Australia.
We don't really have the same headaches. We're just looking to scrape 11 blokes together.
Is anyone there on holiday that we can bring into the side? Last night, India hit 399 for 5 off their 50 overs. Australia, in the end, only had 33 overs to chase it because some rain came in. They finished 217 all out after 28 overs. Few questions. TGC is brought to you by cricket.com. You can download the cricket.com app right now. You can also support cricket.com by subscribing to their YouTube channel. Pez, just talking about our own channel here in TGC. If you're new, there is so much coming up on this channel leading up to the World Cup. The main podcast comes back tomorrow. That's going to be available on iTunes and Spotify, and of course here on YouTube as well. We've got Jimmy Neesham on the show. Alex Malcolm's going to come in to tell us about Australia's situation. And on the channel as well, we've got 10 previews for the World Cup right here. So there's plenty more to come. So click subscribe on the channel if you want to get around TGC for the World Cup.
You can go back. You can go back and get some stuff as well.
If you want to.
Gaurav Kapoor, if you will, and I know you will. Tanmay Bhatt, Varun Thakur, and really far back to Ricky Ponting, not even on screen. So
if you want that. First of the three things, Pez, Shubman and Shreyas, they both turned up. Shreyas scored his third ODI 100 in the nick of time, one might suspect. Shubman Gill hit I think it's his fifth or sixth ODI 100. Shubman Gill 104 off 97, Shreyas 105 off 90. This was complete carnage. And Australia, well, once again, it feels like India, all the answers, and Australia completely hapless by the 11 they decided to put out this time. But credit where credit's due. I mean, Shubman Gill, fucking hell, what a player, man. All three formats, obviously, when he pairs together with Rohit come the World Cup, that's if Gaikwad's not selected. Then that's going to be quite formidable. But Shreyas Iyer batting 3. What does this mean for Kohli? Will Kohli play?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel sorry for Shubman because he's going to be out of runs by the time. He's wasting these runs.
These are wasted runs, Pezza.
So, on the one hand, another great 100, another big score for Shubman, looking absolutely irrepressible and impregnable, unable to be impregnated via cricket. And yet the World Cup hasn't started yet. Timing, I'm not sure. Shreyas Iyer, look, you've got both their names there, Shubman and Shreyas. What's interesting to me, tongue firmly in cheek, is I feel like when you watch them play, you're kind of watching the future of Indian cricket, except the future's here. It's the present. Right. But India hangs on to so many of their big dogs that it still feels like they're waiting their turn, these guys. Like they're the sort of, I know they're in the side. Shubman Gill's firmly established in the side now. But like they still have to wait their turn to become the guys, even though this probably should be their time now. They asked Shreyas after the game whether he had any designs on that number 3 spot, and he just got rid of that idea straight away. Virat is the great of the game. I'm not going anywhere near it. Or words to that effect. So I don't
need my DMs demolished by questioning his position. But
once again, Australia foxing fantastically, bringing all the Indian players into the runs, causing selection headaches for Ajit Agarkar and co. I don't know what to say other than I probably will forget this game later today.
So these two put on 200 for the second wicket, Shreyas and Shubman, and then I mean, have we spoken enough about the flicks, the drives, the slaps down the ground of Zampara as well? We'll get into Cameron Green's performance in a second. Well, actually, we'll do it right now. To that end, It was the 30th over when India were 2-16 for 2. KL Rahul and Ishan Kishan kept it going. Now, KL Rahul's an interesting one who's obviously, he took the gloves in this game. He also took the captain's armband in this game as well. Ishan Kishan was keeping this game. Sorry, take that back. First mistake. But KL Rahul coming 52 off 38. I think his position was already assured, I think, for that first game in Chennai against Australia. But this was key. But then Surya Kumar Yadav comes in, scores back-to-back 50s now after scoring obviously 3 ducks in a row against Australia 7 years ago. 72 off 37. Absolutely smokes Cameron Green for 4 sixes in a row off one particular over. Cam Green finishes off his 10 overs, 103 runs conceded. 2 for though. It did take 2 for. It was actually the.
You could ask you how'd you go today? I 2 for.
I took 2.
Yeah, 2.
I was actually the leading wicket taker in our bowling innings. Thank you very much. And that's how he talks as well. But Sky now, oh my God, it was everything you've seen from Sky when he plays for MI. It was the flick off the hip, like somehow sort of behind the wicketkeeper with full face of the bat, then pumps him with his arched back over cover as well, then flicks one off the pads. Sort of Dhoni-esque in the helicopter-ish style, though he's got his own style now, Sky, of course, through square leg for his 4th 6 in 4 balls. So that was pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah. I don't think anyone uses the pace of the ball better than Sky in the world game at the moment. And we had some solace in Australia that like this was a format that he hadn't quite mastered yet, but he has.
Yeah, he's figured it out.
Yep, he's figured that out. So India looking so hot to win the World Cup. We may as well just turn the tournament off.
Just pack it in.
What I mean? Yeah, pack it in. India are unbackable favourites now.
but also all the pressure on them now as well.
They're just so good, this Indian team. Even the B team, they could play an India A team.
I like them.
And they'd play in the final. They're just such good players.
Suck them off, Pezza. Suck them off. But they did fail in this innings because they did not score 400. They finished 399 for 5, and I thought actually at the halfway point they were 30 short. So getting to the second thing, where are Australia's runs? It's an interesting question that I posed myself. Dave Warner top scores. No, actually, Abbott's got 54, but Warner hit 53 at the top. More runs in India for Dave Warner. I like him at the top. Matt Short got his chance to open in the game. This time he hit 2 nice fours and was caught at third man trying to cover drive. A good catch by Ashwin. Then Steve Smith gets out first ball, caught at first slip. That was both off Krishna. Short and Smith, both dismissed by Krishna. And then Australia were 2 for 9 and it felt like the game was over after 9 balls. The rest of the batting innings, Pez Marnus, 27. Inglis, he's now batted 20 times for Australia, 12 times in T20s, 8 ODIs, 150 in those 20 times. Just hasn't quite worked out for Inglis just yet. Carey, 14. Green, 19. Abbott and Josh Hazlewood sort of add some respectability to the score.
Never seen Hazlewood attack a cricket ball before, and I kind of like it.
Australia were 8 for 140 after 20 overs, and they finished scoring nearly another 80 runs or so thanks to Hazlewood and Abbott. This was a complete capitulation. Jadeja was excellent. Ashwin sensational. The pitch started to take some turn.
They're a very good team, India. They should win the World Cup.
They should easily win the World Cup. If they lose a game.
Based on these performances.
Australia's runs though, man. I mean, there are guys who aren't playing. I understand that. But the fact that this is a warm-up game, but they're so far behind the game, people like Carey and perhaps even Green, who's probably going to be around the squad maybe, they're in these games, they're barely warm-ups because they needed to go at fucking 15 and over from the get-go. So are they really adjusting conditions? I don't know. It was uninspiring from Australia, though, who've been pumped again.
Would you say, though, that Sean Abbott spared Australia's blushes?
I would say that, actually, yes. Yeah.
That they would have been blushing otherwise. Look, my view on this is just one of the great foxing efforts from Australia. I mean, you want to know how much foxing is going on?
Please.
During the innings, David Warner played a decent period of it right-handed. He genuinely faced up right-handed and was hitting boundaries.
Yeah.
The camera was panning to the Aussie box who was laughing. Cummins, the captain, is in a vest running out laughing at his right-handed opening bat.
Yeah.
Now, we know the stories about David Warner. He's batted right-handed for a season before, blah, blah, blah. He can do it. But there's so much foxing going on from Australia. At one point, and this is David Warner's final delivery, he faced up right-handed to Ravichandra Ashwin. And then he switched to face up left-handed as the ball came in. So he switched to his normal stance as Ashwin delivered a carom ball that went the other way. So Warner switched to left-handed, got the carom ball, fell over as he was playing a sweep shot,
Yeah.
got a massive under edge,
Yeah.
walked to Josh Inglis, didn't review it after being given out. So he's facing up right-handed and not reviewing it. So, you know, I don't know how seriously to take this. Yeah, there is an argument that Australia with 5 losses in a row and no answers with bat or ball to 2 teams now, concerningly in Indian conditions, have a problem.
Yeah.
I prefer to say foxing.
Yeah, I like it.
And just keep batting right-handed.
Well, it's going to be very confusing because before that first game of the World Cup in Chennai, India's going to be like, hey, who was that right-handed opening batter that played for Australia? Started with a W. Wade?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I just say foxing, not what Predictor Text keeps trying to change that to foxing.
Well,
foxing.
Maybe that's the reason that Australia have been losing these games. Too much fucking. Or not enough. One of those two things.
Is that what it converts to? For me, it's fixing, match fixing.
Well, to that end, Pez, I want to talk about the last thing. Are we learning things? Okay, because for India, it just seems like every single player is in form. Mo Shami last game took a 5-er. I'm not even sure he's first name in the team sheet in the bowling department. Bumrah is rested for this game. Krishna plays a key role in this game by getting short, and then Smith in 2 balls in a row, killing Australia's hopes basically straight away. KL Rahul and Shreyas score runs in this game. You would have thought perhaps before the tournament started that numbers 4 and 5 after Rohit Gill and Virat might have been KL and Shreyas. Ishan Kishan, actually only Shubman Gill has a better average in ODIs in this year for India. His last 5 innings, Ishan Kishan has scored 102 50s. That's within his last 5 innings. But Suryakumar Yadav comes in and he just looks like that X factor. And now it's like India's got so many players in form playing against guys they're going to play against in the World Cup, sort of. And it's like, can we fit all these guys into the side? Someone's going to have to miss out. It could be Ishan Kishan, who's been sensational. It could be Suryakumar Yadav. I don't think it's going to be KL Rahul, who I think is probably their first choice keeper, probably.
Yeah, it's like, it's a real conundrum for selectors. It's like people go, it's a headache you'll have to have. Not really. Not really.
Like disappoint someone.
Yeah, like someone, ideally a couple of guys aren't playing that well, so you don't have to select them. But Australia, with their wonderful 4D chess strategy, now have every single Indian player in red hot form. You don't know who to pick.
Yeah.
I guess to Ishan Kishan's advantage, he's left-handed, and nobody else is, right, until you get to Jadeja.
Jadeja, team. That's right.
I'm looking at the Indian team. I'm like, pick who you want. It's all looking pretty good. It's all looking pretty good for a team that will win the World Cup now. It really should, by rights.
Yeah, that's right.
Win the World Cup based on those performances.
For Australia, now it is suspected that both teams are going to play their full strength side for this third game, this dead rubber game on Wednesday. Is that right? Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah.
So for Australia, the question seems to be who's going to open the batting with Dave Warner? Does Cameron Green get into the side? Smith and Marnus, what's their contribution to the 11? The bowling does look like Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, Zampa, Agar, Stoinis. Probably playing all those guys. You've probably got six bowlers there. I've still got some hope with the Australian side because this side that played last night is so much weakened because, for instance, like Cameron Green should just never bowl 10 overs in an ODI. Like that just shouldn't happen. Now, I can see him playing in the side where he is bowling 4 overs perhaps, or maybe even as much as 6, but 10. I mean, that's just obviously too many. Agar is going to be crucial, especially in Chennai where it's going to spin. Zampa's effect seems to be diminished when he doesn't have the support around him. Obviously, Spencer Johnson gets his first cap for Australia here. He went for 61 off 8. Hazelwood, 62 off 10. Abbott went for 91 off 10. Short bowl 2 overs, 2 for 15. Now, like, obviously, Travis Head isn't going to play at least first half of the tournament if he is selected at all. Glenn Maxwell has some chop-out overs responsibilities, you would think, for Australia. And then you've obviously got Mitch Marsh to come back into the side. So there's so many questions, but, like, just a key element is Travis Head not being there. It seems to fuck the entire synthesis of the side because then if you have to get Mitch Marsh to open the batting, then he is lost at number 3. Now they're sort of looking at Smith and Marnus playing the same side. That's fucking 2011 for me. It's no good. But I've still got hope because this bits and pieces side that's been put out is just not even close to a decent 8 of what Australia will put out for the World Cup.
Yeah, I think Australia has my actual thoughts are Australia has quite a strong first 11 and shit depth. Yeah, really.
And you look in India and perhaps even England, and they have the most depth.
Yeah. And Australia already have injuries. So that's probably where they've got a few issues. It does feel like in a strange way Travis Head only recently came into the ODI setup.
Yeah.
Really connected the team in terms of the way that it wanted
End
to
of
play
last year.
and the way that it could balance itself. I probably would, I don't see Australia being able to do a lot of damage in World Cup if they carry both Smith and Marnus, however great they are as batting technicians. I just don't think in 2023 a top order with that style of player can really consistently do damage.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because India's going to win the World Cup.
Play whoever you want.
Yeah, doesn't matter. We're all just playing tiddlywinks.
Hashtag AskTGC. This one came from Hayden McCarthy. Hashtag AskTGC. 1. Is this the same shit tip that India got rolled for under 100 twice in March? 2. Is the BCCI not realising Spencer has a last name, the ultimate alpha? I'm not really sure what that second question's getting at. Spencer Johnson, like the fact that they're not recognising his last name as that alpha. They just call him Spencer. Is that what's going on?
It was Spencer on the back of his jersey, maybe. Not the sort of thing I'm paying heaps of attention to be honest.
Sure.
Is that it? What? Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe they were just calling him Spencer.
What was upsetting for me, though, to Hayden's point about this game being at indoor where there are 60-metre boundaries and it really was a 400 deck in 2023 and Australia just kind of, without Abbott and Hazelwood hitting sixes.
Scaring blushes.
Yeah, it was a bit like nudgy, you know what I mean? Just sort of push it around a little bit.
Yeah.
I need clean hitters. We need Glenn Maxwell back. You need Marsh back. Yeah. I think you need Stoinis in the side.
I'd like to see, Australia go hell for leather, really. I think they have been trying to do that with the bat a little bit.
Yeah.
But, so I'd be playing short up the top of the order and just seeing how you go.
Yep.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, once again, we've learned absolutely nothing from these very important games. But the last game, Pezza, when we play the real side, that's when we learn things, unless we don't win. And then we'll learn things when the World Cup starts, when they start playing the games.
For those who will be commenting on my voice at the moment, please know that I went to Parramatta Stadium yesterday, Combank Stadium, to watch my rugby league team, the North Sydney Bears, lose in the final 3 minutes of the grand final. And I have a very weak voice. I screamed at horse. And that is why my voice is the way that it is. Cheers.
Horse was the guy who plays on the wing for the Bears. He screamed at him. See you on the channel real soon.